Hi everyone, it's Eliana, and thanks so much for joining me today. I have a card to share with you. This is a birthday card that I made for my mom. It's February, and so her birthday is on the 11th, so I wanted to make her something special. I am starting off with the Mondo Peony stamp set. This was a gift from Ellen Hudson, and I'm just using that to stamp on my cardstock. You'll see in the lower right hand corner our new creative corners, and I'm just using that instead of my regular magnets. I'm stamping the image with some Mondo Tuxedo Black ink because I'm going to do a little bit of Copic coloring. I'm going to start with some simple coloring. I'm going to use 3 colors. I'm going to use RV55, RV17, and RV19. And I'm going to start off with just the base coat of the RV55, which is a lighter pink. And I'm going around the edges, and I am I am not confident with my Copic coloring at all, so I just try to do a little bit at a time. I don't try to color a big area because usually more than likely I'll get distracted because I do suffer from squirrel syndrome. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, where you start doing one thing and then next thing you know something else has got you distracted and then you don't even remember what you were doing to begin with. But anyways, I'm going next with the RV17 and I'm just flicking a little bit of the darker color, of the medium color, and now I'm flicking just a tiny bit of the RV19, which is the darkest color. Then I'll go back and I'll try to blend it a little bit, and then I'll use the RV55 again. I tried doing this in reverse where you do the darker color first and then you go back with the lighter color, but for some reason with this color combination it doesn't turn out very well, and so I just went back to the base coat with progressing in darkness. I'm going to do this for every petal, and I'm just going to stick with one petal at a time just because I don't want the colors to dry. It's harder for me to blend them when that happens, and so I'll just do one petal at a time. And I'm not going to bore you with showing every single petal. I'm just going to show you these couple here. And the rest of the card will be done exactly the same. And you don't really see it on the final card, but you can see a few of the feather marks, so it looks a little more natural in person than it does in the final picture. You'll just have to trust me on that. But it did turn out really well, and I know my mom's going to really love this card. And I've done a majority of the flower. I didn't do all of it because you'll see me do some layering. But I'm going back to all of the turned pieces of the flower, of the petals, and I'm just doing just one coat of the RV55. I want it to be just a little bit lighter. That way you can really tell where the petals are. And I'm going back and I'm doing my overstamping, which I love to do. It's my favorite technique. I just like the way that everything looks with that dark black onyx ink, and I'll go back and add some clear detail powder from Ranger. And I did stamp this flower 3 times, and so I've only colored the center part here, and I'm going to go ahead and do my overstamping again. And then I have one more panel where I just did the center portion. And I'm going to cut all of these pieces. I'm going to fussy cut around the sections, and so it'll be a layering flower. At first, I wasn't sure whether I liked the way it was going to turn out because I kind of thought, well, maybe it needs to be more of a tunnel where the pieces go down, but I thought it would be much harder to do that. So I'm just going to stick with the layering the pieces. I fussy cut all of the pieces, and now I'm going around with my black Memento marker and I'm just coloring the edges. That way it looks a little bit cleaner, and if I didn't cut it perfect, then it kind of hides that. Now I'm using some Cool Tack tape to just layer my pieces just so that I can kind of see where this is all going. I just started making the card. I tried different coloring techniques. I tried doing pencil color, Prismacolors. I tried doing watercolor, and I didn't do a very good job on it. So I just went back to Copic Coloring. I was going to layer that centerpiece, but then I saw that you could see the white. So I went back and I'm just going to add the RV55 to the underneath part. That way, if you tilt the card up, you can kind of still see color. And I did that with the middle part too. So now when you layer the pieces, there's no white showing underneath where it's not colored all the way. I'm not ready to stick things down because I think I need some leaves. But I really want to know how this is turning out, and so I'm just going to add that centerpiece to the middle layer just so that I could get a better understanding of how it's all going to lay together. And I need to create a mask to put my leaves, so I'm just taking some Inka Dinka Do masking paper and I'm just going to stamp it out with some black ink. And then I will fussy cut around the mask so that I could stamp my flowers behind. When you're stamping with layers like this, you want to put the object that is in the front first, and then you want to put the leaves in the back. So you don't want to stamp the leaves first and then the flower. And because that mask is going right over the edge, this is one of the reasons why I invented this little corner piece. So I'm just going to use that creative corner, and I'm going to extend my corner out just a little bit so that I could stamp off the edge. Now this is just a practice run on a scrap test piece that I made, and so I don't really want to take the chance and ruin my colored in piece on my leaf placement, and so I'm just using this scrap piece to make sure that I like where I'm placing my leaves or my stems. I'm not sure what it's called, but it's the peony leaves. And so now I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to place that other piece. I've already started here. I don't want to move my paper, so I'm just going to move my creative corner to the other side, and that way I don't have to worry about taking my stamps off. So I'm just making sure that my paper hasn't moved. I'm tucking the corner into the other side, and now I'm going to pick up my stamp on the lid. And then I'll be able to see if I like the way that the leaves look. I've spent a lot of time coloring that flower, so I didn't want to ruin it by stamping the leaves in the wrong spot. So I'm ready to commit, and I like where the leaves are, so I'm just going to go ahead and take that same mask, and I'm going to position it again. When I trimmed out my mask, I tried to trim on the inner part of the line. That way, when I go to stamp, the stamp will go right up to the stamped image. And so now that I have that, I'm going to take everything out, and now I'm going to color with my YG61 and my YG63, and I'm only using 2 colors on this. So I'm going to color everything with the lightest color first, and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to do a flicking motion with the darker color. And I'm just basically starting on both ends and leaving the middle lighter. The flower casts a little bit of a shadow, so I figured it'd be darker there. And then just underneath where the leaf fold. I didn't do a shadow underneath where the flower petals fold. It was a little too complicated for me and I didn't want to be all that technical, so I just tried to keep the coloring to what I liked, and I liked the way it turned out. And I know that with time, the more that I color, the better I'll be at it. But right now, I just wanted to get something done. And if I just don't commit to making something and getting it done rather than trying to make it absolutely perfect, then nothing's going to get done. So I figured I just have to complete the project, and then the next time I color, then I will improve on that one. What I'm doing now is I'm just going around where the petals fold, and I'm putting some clear Wink of Stella just on that part. I don't want to have too much shimmer. I just want to add some interest to my flower, and so only where the petals and the leaves fold is where I'm just going to add that clear Wink of Stella. Now what I really wanted to do was to mask everything and then do some ink blending with like a light shade of blue and just do really light, but I was so chicken, I did not want to ruin my card with a sponge mark. And so what I opted to do was just to use a W0 and just go around the bottom portion of the flower and the leaves just so that it kind of looks like there's a shadow. But yeah, I was chicken. I'd spent too much time coloring and wasn't going to start over. Maybe next time what I'll do is I'll stamp everything out, then I'll do my ink blending, and then I'll color my flower. But for now, this is just the route that I took. I've stamped out my sentiment. It's from the Alta New Best Mom stamp set, and it just says, "Mom, I love you." And I just stamped it onto some black cardstock with some Versamark ink, and I added some white embossing powder, and I just cut out the little pieces so that they look like labels. Now this is the part where I get totally thrown for a loop and I don't know where to add my sequins, and so through the magic of YouTube, I've already done it. Thanks so much for hanging in with me and watching the entire video. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. Have a great day.